He walked with my mother. Yeah. He walked with me.
That separates the champ from the rest of us, and I think it must be money when I look at
there's another expression that goes something like that, but it's called, there's always something that separates the men from the boys. Now, I've been traveling around the world, and everywhere I go, they're saying that Dusty Rhodes is in the Mid-Atlantic area hollering, where's Ric Flair? Where's the world champion? Why does he come out here and stand face to face with me and talk about Starcade? Well, I tell you what, Big Dust, the world champion, and you can say that right, brother, the world champion, Slick Rick, whatever you want to call me, has been traveling from one end of this world to the other, upholding the honor and the dignity, of the National Wrestling Alliance. That's right, Ric Flair, the world heavyweight champion, has been doing it better than any man alive. You know why? Because I'm better than any man alive. And this says so. Custom made, from head to toe.
Hey, wait a minute. Where's Dusty Rhodes? Look at, he's watching you.
I see him back there. All right, Big Dust. You saw me a minute ago. Now it's my turn to talk and your turn to listen. You know, there's three things that Ric Flair has always had a fancy for. Big, long cars, fine-looking women, and lots of money in my pocket. $1 million. Think about it, Dusty Rhodes. All of you out there, think about it. $1 million. And this, you see, this is what cranks me up. This is what motivates me. This is what drives the women wild. I like walking to the airport having them say, here comes Slick Rick. And they're also going to say, there's the man that beat the dream for $1 million.
We had a whole lot of superstars on this stage here tonight. But I want y'all to know one thing. This is my house. And when I say who's
word attack skills and vocabulary too. Comprehension of this edition is all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetary like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
What's up, everybody? The intro went a little longer than it usually does because we tested some things out. Ring Time Pro Wrestling is here. Keith and Keshia have hit the building. Keshia, say hi to the people.
Hey! What up, though? I don't scream because that's just necessary. I realize, all that is just too much noise. I don't need to do all that. So, what up, people? What's happening tonight?
Yo.
All right, let me calm down.
This is a special Friday Night Lights presentation of the Ring Time Pro Wrestling Podcast. We are here to preview Money in the Bank. It is the annual pay-per-view. That's something I think shouldn't be a pay-per-view. I still think it should be isolated to WrestleMania. But of course, that probably will make WrestleMania 22 hours long.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's a life. I gonna say it's a life. It can be a career changer, right? This can alter the trajectory of your career. But as we've seen of late, some people, different things have happened. I am going to give you my thoughts. Keshia will give you her thoughts. We'll merge it all together and give you a picture of what's going to happen. Next month, we're tuning up. We're going back to Saudi Arabia, people. That's the thing. All Elite Wrestling has Double or Nothing next week, so we're going to talk about that. We'll probably do a preview show for that. It'll be like a recap preview kind of combined show next week where we preview that one, get this one wrapped up. But it'll be worth talking about, right? So, I guess we have to get this thing rolling to get you all caught up on what's new and what's hot in the rest of the world. There's a lot of news, a lot of things that have happened since the last time we sat down and did a podcast. A little small snippet before I get too far into it, a little State of the Union. We will have these shows done regularly. The website will start getting updated regularly because that's a thing. I appreciate y'all patience with us, right? If you've been on the ride for the last 8 years, there's been some ups, there's been some downs, right? I still think this is one of the best shows on radio. Period, point blank. I feel like it's a damn shame that in the Atlanta market, 92.9 The Game has a wrestling show on Wednesday night and they ain't called either one of us. Now, that being said, I don't know who the co-host is with Tony Schiavone. I get why Schiavone has a show and I don't. Right? 100% fair. Schiavone has 30, 40 years in the game. Schiavone has been on the worldwide stage with WWE and WCW. Right? His co-host, it might just be his homeboy. Or somebody he knows, somebody in the family. Who knows? Don't really care. Them dudes on 106.3, the X, the sister station, is 680 The Fan and all that. No shade, they ain't Keith Hope. I can stack up 8 years of the website of ringtimeprowrestling.com. I can stack up all the 400 some odd articles. I can stack up my work with the Wrestling News Source. I can stack up my work at various other podcasts. Them dudes ain't me.
Right, that's right.
I'm just saying, that's fine. But here's the thing. No shade. Them dudes just ain't me. And not being me is no shade, right? Right. I can't shoot like Steph Curry. You know what I mean? Don't mean I'm a bad shooter. Just saying. But neither here nor there. Keisha, I just felt a little... sometimes you feel a little slighted in your soul, right?
Oh, no. I understand completely.
So, that's the thing. It's just like, hey, whoever get this job at the WWE as a script writer and a continuity expert, they ain't Keith Hope. I'm just saying.
Right.
The one thing I complain about with the scripts, I think I can fix. Go ahead and talk to her for a minute, Keshia.
Well, I can tell you that it's been a slow week for the most part. That's the best way to describe this week. I mean, it has snail slow. But all in all, it's been all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here, trying to live my life, trying to get me some sleep, and that's, always a struggle, but I do my best. Laughing and joking with our nephew because he's hilarious, For a 1-year-old, he has a lot of personality. Let's just put it like that. He is a character. But yet and still, it's so amazing to just see this tiny little person just running around and, just laughing it up and just being happy. Because I swear, he's crazy, Keith. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, oh my God, like, where do you get this from? And then I remember that he's a Hope, and I'll be like, you know what? Never mind. Like, you just start thinking about, all the relatives, and, you just start looking around the room, and you like, you know what? never mind. That explains enough in itself. We're good. I don't need no more explanation other than that. So, but other than that, everything has been wonderful for the most part. I'm excited to be here tonight for this wonderful, extravagant event known as Ring Time Pro Wrestling. I'm glad to be here with y'all, because I appreciate y'all, man. For the 8 years that we've been doing this show, like, it has been a ride, and I have enjoyed every minute of it. It's definitely been one of the highlights. Big roller coaster ride, but it's been one of the highlights of my life. So that's just, I just got to throw that on out there, add it on to what was said before. I love this stuff, and I don't think people really realize, how invested. It's like, no, dude, like, I love this stuff. Like, you might not like this stuff, but I love this stuff. So let's not get into that. Like, let's not talk about, how I feel about it, because I tell you all day, every day. Like, anytime anybody asks me, they're like, you like wrestling? I love wrestling. I do a podcast with my brother called Ring Time Pro Wrestling. Like, we do this, whenever we can, preferably every week. Now, like, we've been doing this for 8 years. Like, this is a thing, and it is going to always be a thing. So I'm gonna need y'all to chill, and that's just me. So I'm gonna hop off my soapbox. Of course, there's a lot to talk about. There's some things to discuss, but we'll get to those bridges. We'll cross those bridges when we get there. So let's go on into it, Keith, because I'm ready. I am ready. Do these headlines and do these events. Ooh, Jesus. I'm definitely ready this week.
All right, back in the saddle.
I don't even know how to.
Finish your thought. I'm just letting you know I'm back in the saddle.
Oh no, I'm good. Trust me, I'm ready to talk about this wrestling.
Yeah.
Not wrestling, wrestling.
No. Who knew? Emergency bathroom break. Lovely having a co-host. Because, and it's probably a little TMI, but I don't care. I feel like talking tonight. Right? Like, it's some things. I'm about to purge, so I got to talk.
Oh, my God.
So, I got to let you... Hey, because, we do this all the time, and, usually we send little notes and stuff like that. Keish, I got too deep into it, and I was like, shoot, I ain't even got time to send a text and say, hey, cover me. It just is like...
You know me. I was just running on and run on because, I got a lot to say.
Yes.
So.
But I thank God for you because, there's been times where I've had to do this and you wasn't on. And you know how complicated it is to try to orchestrate that with somebody. Man, I just pull out random clips and just let it go. Well, anyway, little inside baseball, how the show is produced. But we're here. This is going to be fun, right? Mm-hmm. Like, tonight, that's one thing I want to do. I want to have fun. Because you know what? The past couple of weeks at my day job have been stressful, and I have been ready to choke people, right? Like, you don't understand. Like, somebody asked me, they was like, oh, I was a little late one day. They was like, I thought you weren't coming in. I was like, oh, no, I thought about calling off. And I ain't talking about, like, you at home and you go call off? Nah, I mean, like, at the elevator.
Right.
Like, I'm downstairs at the elevator, like, I could just call in right now.
Right. Like, I ain't made it up to the office yet.
I'm just right here at the elevator. I just turn this shit around and go home. That's where I was this week. A few times. It was also like... All right, if I quit today, how much money do I have? Like, how long can it last, right?
Oh my God.
I'd get my 401k. I could take that money and I could ride that for a little while. Like, how long? You know what I mean? Because really, I just got to pay the mortgage, cover the bills.
Right.
How long can this ride? Till I got to do the next thing. Because that's where I've been. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
start contemplating your life.
Yeah, man.
When
it's like,
you start contemplating your life. That's a bit much. Like,
how much of a fool can I act before they call the police? That's why. How big of a fool can I act before they call the cops? Because it's Cobb County, Keish. Once they call the cops, it's game over. You know what I mean?
You already know it's a wrap, right?
You know what I mean?
Like,
once they call the cops, they might as well print up the T-shirts, Justice for Keith, because it's going to get complicated. And, you know, I'm not trying to be that guy, right? Like, that's the last thing. I'm not trying to be the subject of a march. I'm trying to get out of here alive. But look, man, I don't went off into the weeds. Wrestling, that's what we're here for. We're here for some wrestling, right? We're not here for a lot of other things. So we're going to talk about wrestling. Raw. Overall, what did you think of the show? And
I have to honestly,
are you digging the wild card?
Okay, so here's my thoughts on the wild card. I don't see the point. And the reason why I say that is because the shows were separated for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with the wild card, it's their way, in my mind, it's their way of bringing the shows together without bringing the shows together. And it's just kind of like, if you're going to combine the shows again, just do it already. You know, I just don't understand. I guess I see it as a way for them to gain ratings. And I get it. But it's kind of like, well, I mean, if I'm going to see Roman on Raw and SmackDown every week, you know, if I'm going to see Shane on Raw and SmackDown every week, if I'm going to see Miz on Raw and SmackDown every week, like, just combine the shows. You know what I'm saying? Because with the wild card, like, you don't know what three, you know, members of Raw or SmackDown are going to be on each show every week. But it's just kind of like, well, if that's the case, then you're really just combining the shows without actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because that means that you have to combine the belts and you have to combine, you know, all of that and everything. And that's a whole other story in itself, but at the same time, it's not difficult. Not only that, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, y'all went through the trouble of creating two titles, you know, for women and the men. And, you know, it's like, I guess I'm just not up for the idea of it. And to me, Raw this week as a whole, I wasn't really too pleased, you know. I think that it was okay, you know, going into Money in the Bank, and it had a here and there, but it was still just kind of, you know, like I wasn't really impressed. I'm not even going to lie. I wasn't really impressed by it. They can do better. That's the best way I can put it. They can definitely do better, and some storylines just need to end. And the only reason why I say that is because, you know, it's not like they have the brand separated for the pay-per-views anymore. You know, I can understand, you know, with WrestleMania, soon SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series, you know, you do the combined brand, you know, you co-brand the pay-per-views, but, like, all the other pay-per-views need to be separated. Raw, SmackDown, because some of these storylines are either they just need to be over with or they need a better build-up. And it's just kind of just thrown together, especially with the pay-per-view so with such little time in between them. It's just really ridiculous at this point. And I guess that to me is what's really like killing the ratings at this. That other than, you know, the other shows that's going on, you know, the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, but wrestling is wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And I they can do better. That, in my mind, they can do better. Now, Keith, if they hire you on, we might can get somewhere.
Here would be the
what I'm
problem.
saying? They might.
Here would be the problem.
Just go ahead and just hire you on. Maybe we can get somewhere.
I think I would probably piss everybody off the first week of work. So, this is honesty. So, I think wrestling is better served with a single creative vision that's unencumbered. Okay, this is where they're going. This is where they have problems. One, they have too many writers. And all those writers aren't working cohesively. Then, whatever those writers are thinking, they still have to fall through the filter of one person. And that person, I think, hasn't had his full focus on what's going on for a long time. And he's trying to serve too many masters. They're trying to serve the shareholders. They're trying to make these ratings because they try to deal with sponsors. They try to deal with different people who got different interests, the network. So everybody has a different interest and think that they have the answer, and you have to try to appease them because you took some folks' money. So now you're in this weird space where, the idea of like having Roman Reigns go back and forth between both shows, which you're going to burn out Roman Reigns doing this too, is that, hey, he's one of our most popular people. We need to make sure he's seen, and hopefully that will create the draw. You don't have the compelling storylines, I think, that will keep the people. The ratings have dropped. The stock prices dropped a little bit. And they try to panic because they're like, oh, we can't afford any of this. So this is what you're getting.
Right. And
I'm going to say this. All Elite Wrestling has them shook a little bit. As they should be. And we'll go into some more in depth about them later on in the show. But yeah, Roman and The Miz fight Lashley and Elias. I really wasn't feeling that. Mojo defeats Apollo Crews. What's the plan for Mojo? The most interesting part of the show was the contract signing. So it was a double contract signing. Charlotte Flair, Lacey Evans. And they just jumped Becky Lynch, right? Which there in itself, Charlotte Flair shouldn't be on this show. Her contract signing should be the next night. You feel what I'm saying? Right. I get Becky has to do the two things in the same night, but that shouldn't happen. Corbin defeats Ricochet. Nikki Cross got a nice spot. Now, this is one of the things I think were appreciated. The women always do great on the show. Nikki Cross, who's kind of getting a slight rebrand, but not totally, wins the Fatal 4-Way with Natalya, Naomi, and Dana Brooke. She took Alexa Bliss's spot in this match because Alexa couldn't compete.
Right.
Prayers up for her. I hope whatever's happened with Alexa Bliss, because she's been out of action for a long time, and she's had like brief stints where she's came back. But for the most part, like I want to say the last year and a half, man, we've kind of seen Alexa Bliss sideline. Now they're not really talking about what's really the injury or what are the injuries or how this is going, but for the most part, man, we haven't seen a lot of her lately. And I hope all is well. I mean, she's a very young wrestler. This is the early stages of her career, and hopefully the time off and not rushing her back and the things that they're doing will help prolong her career. And this is not a harbinger of like a Paige situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool.
Because that's what they kind of did with Paige. Like they just kind of held Paige out of what was going on for a long time.
Right.
And it was like,
and then
it was like we kind of know something wrong.
Reality of her,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hope that doesn't happen with Alexa Bliss. Like, I hate to see anybody lose their career early in the game, right?
Right.
Match of the night probably was Rey Mysterio and Cesaro. I think that was fair. Like, I thought they both turned good. And you get two good veteran performers. Even though they don't necessarily have a reason for the match, they don't need a reason. And I think this is a good way to manage your talent, right?
All right.
You're using your guys. You're using the guys you have on the roster. Ray didn't have to fight Samoa Joe. You see what I'm saying? Samoa Joe didn't have to come out in this match to make that compelling.
Right.
Save that for Sunday. But these two guys can have a match. Cesaro ain't got nothing kicking on Sunday, so it's cool. Even though that seems like a shame, right?
Right.
Like, you can't figure out where to use Cesaro. And I think one day I'm going to get back to the writing of our site. Like, one thing our site has missed sorely for the last year or so is me writing like I used to. And there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? One, my work on my real estate license is just taking up a whole lot of time. Two, the inspiration to write just hadn't been there just because personal reasons. But I think I'm going to have to come with a list of stars that, like, I remember I wrote something about Big Show that you can check on ringtimeprowrestling.com about how his career has been mismanaged. Man, I could name about 4 or 5 guys that I could kind of go down the line. Cesaro, Braun Strowman, easy, off the top of the current roster. Bray Wyatt, you know what I mean? And I might just start a series of guys who I think have just, even if they've done some good things with them, the overall, and really, this is what I think is missing when they compare to different eras, whether it's Attitude Era, the Golden Era, whatever. I feel like today's wrestling, they don't know what to do with the guy who's not in the main event, or the guys, or the girls who are not in the main event. Once that person drops the belt, once that person loses the title, they don't know what to do with them until they're back in a feud for the title. The problem with that is that it's hard to write a credible story for them to be back in the mix if you haven't sustained them when they wasn't in the mix. You follow me? During the Attitude Era, if I got Triple H and Austin going for the title, I found something to do with Rock, Undertaker, Mick Foley, Chris Jericho, and those other guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kurt Angle, down the line. Then, if I didn't, I took them off TV altogether. So when they came back, it was like, oh, I remember that dude. And the last time you saw him, he was hot. So there's no drop off in it. Instead of having a guy having 50-50 matches where he wins some, lose some, and then all of a sudden, bam, he's in the main event, it doesn't jive enough. Because as much as this stuff is quote-unquote not real, you gotta give the fans something they can follow and believe in. Right? I don't watch Game of Thrones. Keshia a Game of Thrones fan.
I sure am.
From what I've heard, though, is like the last couple of episodes, y'all have felt like wrestling fans in how the show got booked.
Let me tell you. This is because there has been 7 seasons, right? And in 7 seasons, it has all come to this moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we added season 8, like 2 weeks ago, was what we for 7 seasons. Mind you, they didn't have a season last year. So we had to wait 2 years for this season that's going on now for them to rewrite it and for them out some complete bullshit, okay? Like, I'm like, the episodes were good, But it was like, nah, bro, y'all got a lot of questions to answer. Like, for real. Because it's just, it has irked me so bad. It's like, what? But I do understand the frustration, of course, as a wrestling fan, what wrestling fans are going through right now, because it's like, look, because this is what you want to do. You want to sit down the creators and the writers of all these storylines and all that and everything, and be like, look, this is what you need to do, because it's like they don't have it all. It's like, what is going on around here? Like, I personally am just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But man,
yeah, no,
wrestling has gotten real crazy lately. I will say that.
Yeah, so you gotta pay off the investment. That's basically what I'm gonna get at.
Right.
So the Bray Wyatt thing has did its turn. What do you think so far? I'm gonna touch base because you wasn't feeling it last week.
No, because of course he was the fun house and all of that. It's like, I'm not feeling the fun house. Fun house is just creepy, weird, but it has taken its turn this week.
I like the fun house. I think the fun house is a nice, creepy twist on Pee-wee's Playhouse, which I think was kind of creepy in itself. We just didn't take it that way in the late 80s. But I like it. I think they could have stretched out that part of it a little further, even though, once again, one of the reasons I think they felt the need to get away from it was word on the street. And this is word on the street. I'm not saying this is fact, because I want to clarify. When I tell you something, if it's fact, it's fact. But if it's rumor, I want to tell you that it's rumor, and this is what I've heard. The sponsors didn't like that. Like, they wasn't ready. Like, the creepy kid angle wasn't where they want to go with this. They want to stay away from anything that implies that, because it's kind of like, yo, I don't know what y'all promoting here, but we don't want to be open to somebody saying that this thing was used to attract children and then went left.
Right.
So that's
I can
their thing.
Understand that part. Mm-hmm.
Sami Zayn defeats Braun Strowman to take his spot in Money in the Bank. Now, I like it, don't like this, right? I get why it happened. And I using McIntyre and Corbin, who have been a nice destructive force on Raw, to do this works. But, and I get, if you take Braun away from Money in the Bank, then he's not a serious title contender right away, right?
Right.
Now, if I was booking this, he's a monster among men. He's a very destructive force. I would have him still be a factor in Money in the Bank. And when we get to Money in the Bank preview, I'll give you what my idea would be, but this is what I think is going to happen. I did, like I said, I have mixed feelings. I don't know if I like them attacking him or not. Here's the thing. That has to justify how Sami Zayn won the match. Like, Sami Zayn cannot win that match on his own.
Right.
Sami Zayn and Money in the Bank will be interesting. How he handles it, I don't know. But that's it. We're going to hit our break, because it's about time for our break. We'll come back. We'll do news, which is going to be loaded, man. And then we'll come back. We'll recap SmackDown. We'll preview Money in the Bank, and we'll get you guys out of here. We are already 30-some-odd minutes deep into the show. So, strap up. We're about to give you probably a good hour and a half of good content to take home. And you can download, and you can listen at work, and you can have a good week with it. Even though the shows
That's
are
right.
pay-per-view previews, I think they hold up very well through the week. So to give you something to listen to. So we're going to hit the break and we'll be back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a taste of it a little earlier on here on Saturday night's main event when the madness met the mania. I am talking about Macho Madness and Hulkamania, two mega powers meeting here tonight. Hulk Hogan, what is happening?
Well, you know, me and Gene, we really don't know what we're dealing with here, man. And I'm just kind of a little worried about locking up here.
It's all right.
Because we just might blow the whole planet up, you know. Everybody knows that Hulkamania is the strongest force in this universe. But when I hit that ring and I saw what the madness was all about, I realized there was a whole nother universe out there, a whole nother frontier, and the power of the madness and the mania just blew my 24-inch guns out,
You
man.
mean to tell me there is another solar system, Macho Man?
Unbelievable. I'm still in a state of shock right now.
In fact, I don't think the movie comes down for a long period of time.
Yeah, reckless abandon is what it used to be. Yeah.
But Elizabeth opened up my eyes and the big man is right here. The big man, yeah. He endorsed Macho Madness and he gave me direction. Yeah. It's a damn useless direction now with the mega power. Yeah. Mega powers, yeah. I feel the power now. I feel the power right there.
Good,
Yeah,
wasn't a hit over the head, Macho Man.
No, man, I'm all right.
There's never been better, yeah. Don't you worry about the hit over the head, man. I'm just worried about where we're going from here. Is it the stratosphere, man? Is it the ionosphere with the madness and the mania as one guiding force? We could go ahead and take the whole
I cannot believe this. And all that has happened here on Saturday night's main event, the Mega Powers, the Madness, Macho Man Randy Savage, and the heavyweight champion and Hulkamania.
Man, okay. I love that promo. I love hearing Macho and Hogan together. That being said, Keish, when they got together, I don't know how much cocaine was done, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot of it. I don't know. Or if any went all, because I don't want somebody to sue me for libel, because Hulk Hogan liked to sue people, and he sued people for crazy amounts of money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, we ain't got it.
he sued. Yeah, I don't. I ain't got it. And shit, I don't want to get it and then have to give it away. Like, he put an online magazine out of business. And I'm like, shit. Because there was no rootable characters in anybody's camp. But, like I said, man, I want no smoke. So I'm going to say, in theory, it seems like some people was on cocaine. That's all.
Right.
That's all. All right, so let's hit birthdays real quick. Then we hit to the news, and then we'll be back into what we usually do. So it's the 17th, which is Saturday. I'm sorry, Friday. Going into Saturday. The Hebner brothers' birthday was today, Keish. Earl and Dave Hebner. Now, Earl is a legendary referee. Ref some major matches. Ref the Montreal Screwjob. He and Dave are in wrestling's most crazy storyline. So, 1988. Dave Hebner was scheduled, they're twins, was scheduled to ref a match between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant on Saturday night's main event. Andre won. He was going to take the belt and surrender it to Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase, in fact, the $1 Million Man was going to try to buy the WWF Championship. There was shenanigans with the referee. It wasn't Dave as the ref. It was actually Earl. Who, now, they don't tell this story now, but if you watched it, you probably could catch I would try to look it up on YouTube because on the WWE Network, I don't know if they've cut some of this stuff out. The $1 Million Man had Earl get plastic surgery to look like Dave in the story. This is the absurdity of wrestling. when actually they twins, so nobody needed plastic surgery. And that's where the confusion came. Even though both of them are paid referees on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Dave comes out, blows up the scam. And so what happens is President Jack Tunney takes the title belt, puts it, and vacates it. Nobody's the champ. So there's too, this whole thing is too cloudy. There's too much mess. That is what leads to the tournament for WrestleMania 4 at Trump Tower. Well, Trump Plaza. Whatever. And this is where Donald Trump gets involved in the WWF. Who knew that guy was going to be president? Also,
right.
In 1988, if you said Donald Trump would be president one day, it would not have seemed absurd. It actually would seem semi-reasonable. It is that now, fast forward to 2016, it's like, what kind of bizarro world are we in? A lot of things happen between those times. But just saying. Happy birthday, Earl and Dave. Alex Wright celebrates her birthday. Alex Wright turns 44. B-Team wrestler from WCW. Likes to dance. Dash Wilder celebrates her birthday. Dash turns 32. We could go backwards. Maria Kanellis had a birthday yesterday on the 16th. So did The Godfather. 2 days before that, which would have been Wednesday, Farouk celebrated a birthday, a.k.a. Ron Simmons. I don't know why this site has it listed as Farouk. It is Ron Simmons. Farouk was just one of the characters. Anyway, legend. Hey, there was an episode of Bite This where Farouk comes in with Clarence Mason and Keish. It is classic. It is Black Power to the fullest. I saw it on Instagram. I have to get the whole thing together so I can play the clip one day. Fun times. Also, just random. Did you get the clip I sent you on the Twitter of probably the blackest moment in SmackDown history?
So let's talk about that, because there was another black moment on SmackDown too. That was because, of course, that wasn't the only performance done by a black group, but it definitely was just ridiculous. Like, it was so ridiculous. And then seeing the crowd, like seeing everybody just, it felt awkward. Like, it's just...
Yo, Vince was swaying back and forth. Oh my God. Okay, here's the thing about it. Because I'm going to play the audio here. Let's get... But this is... You got to remember, too. This was on UPN. This is when... SmackDown debuted on UPN. UPN was like the home of the Parkers and some other things. You know what I mean? So I want to give you where we are. But one, Jagged Edge killed it. Like, that was a good ass performance. Two, Bruce was the Reverend. Teddy Long was getting married to Crystal. Ron Simmons and Butch Reed were groomsmen. I'm just setting the stage here, and I'm going to cut my volume on this one and make sure that there's no ad before this thing gets rolling. And what?
Theodore's got for his lovely bride. His song, Let's Get Married, Jagged Edge. players wouldn't tell you this. I'ma be real and say what's on my heart. Take this chance and make the love feel relevant.
Okay. The whole video is on our Tumblr page, ringtimeprowrestling.com. So the blogspot, Ringtime Pro Wrestling at blogspot.com. It's on our Facebook page. Check it out. It is greatness. Man. Keish, I had to stop it because I was like, I'm about to derail the show. Because I'm watching it, I got the audio going, and I'm like, all right. Because that band, that band was kicking. And Jagged Edge, one of my favorite groups. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to those late 90s, early 2000s groups, Jagged Edge, 112, them are groups. They, from here to A, Brandon and Brian, the twins be killing. I'm telling you. Them dudes say they ass off. They the baddest set of twins that lead the group since the Whispers. That's another story for that time. Okay, so, like I said, I've totally derailed the entire show. News. Totally derailed the entire show with that. But it's cool. Where else on a wrestling show do you get to talk about Jagged Edge and get some Let's Get Married? SmackDown was jamming there too. I'm just saying. Right. Teddy Long sitting up there jumping in. I got to go down to face-to-face wrestling. One Friday night, me and you got to go down to face-to-face wrestling and holler at Teddy. Because they do shows every Friday night. Heath Slater got a promotion. Teddy Long is part of it. Here in Georgia. It's an indie promotion. Also, there's a wrestling school attached to it. Just something to talk about. But yeah, once again, I've derailed the whole thing. Somehow I have to get us all the way back to Money in the Bank. So, hey. Ric Flair was hospitalized this week. Okay. Actually, today or yesterday, right? I want to make sure we cover this correctly because people were rushing. People were trying to put Ric Flair in the grave.
Yeah, you know what? I was so pissed about that. I was like, why are we killing this man? He's not dead. He's not dead. What is wrong with folks?
TMZ was ready. They was ready to put him in the ground. Fair foul. So Rick is doing okay. His surgery, I think that was supposed to go down today, has been moved to the 20th because they want to make sure they get all the things that all the things that they want to take their time, right? The fact that they can wait till the 20th for the surgery, I feel like is a sign that it's okay, all right now, where we are. Charlotte's still scheduled to be at Money in the Bank. So that's also a sign that everything is probably not as bad. His wife, Fifi, Conrad Thompson, her son-in-law, also famed podcaster Conrad Thompson, who's done quite a few podcasts. I think he used to do Rick's podcast. He co-hosts 83 Weeks with Bischoff. He co-hosted Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. Which I don't know if Bruce is going to do that anymore or if he's still doing it and how the content will be if he is still doing it since, he's took a job back at WWE. But Conrad is Rick's son. He's married to Rick's other daughter. I think her name is Megan. And so it's kind of like he knows enough to tell you that it's okay. Right? But some of the memes are cool though too, because I've seen one where Rick got the Grim Reaper in the headlock and it said Rick been kicking out of death since 1975, and people silly. The internet man, undefeated. I hope to never get too famous where when I do something stupid it becomes a meme. But yeah. That's happening. We've talked about Alexa Bliss being pulled from Money in the Bank. She will not be at Money in the Bank. Nikki Cross will take her spot in the match. Earl Hebner We talked about him and Dave and the craziness. He has signed with All Elite Wrestling. He will ref in All Elite. Earl has refed everywhere that you could possibly ref. WWE, WCW, TNA. I think his experience at All Elite will be helpful. Like, as much as they've got guys like Cody and Kenny Omega and all that stuff there, a guy like Earl in the ring can help out a lot. And with Jim Ross working there too, with all these young guns and all these guys in their mid-20s or whatever doing things there, I think it's helpful to have a grown-up in the room. I think it's helpful to have somebody there that can balance some things out for what's going on with the company. So that is definitely helpful and definitely, I think, will benefit them. Also, while we're talking All Elite Wrestling, shouts out to them.
Gauge with what they got going on just yet.
Okay.
But I'm interested. I'm very interested in the direction that they're going into.
October 1st.
I'm gonna say that.
October 1st. And let me give you a date what October 1st is. I don't want to go too far. It is a Tuesday. All right. All Elite Wrestling will be on TNT. Turner Broadcasting is back in the wrestling game. Now, they shout out that they back in the wrestling business. To be fair, with Turner, I don't think anybody there now was there 18 years ago when they shut it down. There might be a few people at Turner Sports. Right. But for the most part, all the people go. And I'm sure whoever's there is probably people who didn't want to get rid of wrestling back then. It's a different landscape. I think they'll do good if this gives them something consistent on Tuesday night. If they aren't that financially invested, like, I don't know what the financials are. I have to read through what the financials are, because some people say AEW is paying to be on TV, but I don't think that's the case either. But I don't think they get a great deal of money. But the exposure to be on Turner, I think, will do a lot for them. And just saying that they're on a network that big, I think is going to be helpful. Now, if they debut on that Tuesday, that's going head to head with SmackDown that's going to be on Fox. We got a war. Before anything happens, we have a war. We have shots fired. We have one organization. They're going to do things a little differently. So, with WCW was at the Hill, and they took the shots. They tried to do it with old dudes. They were bringing back Hogan, Macho, Luger, stars from the 80s, and tried to make them relevant in the mid-90s. All Elite is doing it a little different. They got Cody Rhodes. They got Kenny Omega. They got the Young Bucks. Hangman Page. Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss of Lucha Underground fame. You're doing something totally different. Totally outside the box. So, the LGBT community is going to be it because you have an openly gay wrestler. You have a trans wrestler. They're going to corner the market in some things. The indie crew, the people who felt like their favorite wrestlers have been overlooked, are going to have a spot where they can come. The tape traders, the people who are fans of Japanese wrestling, they have a place where they can see their people. I think you're gonna have a nice mix of talent. having a guy like Jericho there to help with the younger talent, having guys like Daniels and Kazarian there to help with the younger talent, it's a nice mix. It's not all slanted one way or the other. And these guys are legit all in. Guys have ownership stakes. Guys have their own money and careers tied up into this. I'm excited to see what happens. Wrestling's getting a shot in the arm. And I think we're going to be better for it. So, that happened. We got some sad news, too, to report, right? So, I don't want to leave out all the sad stuff. Former WWE superstar Ashley Massaro, 2005 Diva Search winner, passed away at the age of 39. I don't have a lot of major details on the passing. It's unfortunate, and our heart goes out to the family. On a lesser note, Grumpy Cat passed away, who made an appearance on Raw. Keish, do you know what the family of the Grumpy Cat that made over the years off this cat?
I know that there has been sponsorships. I know that they have had contracts. They have
estimate
comics. They have cartoons.
Yeah, they estimate that they may have made $100 million off of this cat. Crazy, right? So just throwing it out there. Just nothing, have to like the mood. Lars Sullivan. Keish, remember we speculated last week, we don't know if it was him or whatever. Okay, it was him, right? The WWE has fined him $100,000, and he has made some apologies for his insensitive statements of the past. And a lot of people were like, well, why did he get fired? There's other people who are like, because of course, white dudes got to ask, why are y'all fining him $100,000 for stuff he did before he worked for the company? I'm going to answer everybody's question. Hey, that dude, they have invested a lot of money in his push. They ain't going to just fire him for this, right? And as far as him getting fined, they have to win a press conference. They're a publicly traded company. They have to give the appearance that they cared and they did something about it. And they probably told him in the office, don't do anything stupid again. Stay off the social media. They're going to figure out who you are. Just keep it to yourself. No news is good news. This thing will die down and it'll be over soon. Period, point blank. So,
yeah, it's just, I don't know. I guess I find it, what's the word that I'm looking for? Interesting, I guess. I don't know if that's what I really want to.
I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, there wasn't
what I want to.
I would look for them to be the arbitrators of social justice, right? Also, here's the thing too. Regardless of how despicable I think your comments were or the dumb things that you say, because people say dumb shit all the time, right? I don't know if I'm a fan of going back through people's old social media posts. And this is going to be a thing, because this happens with athletes a lot, I've noticed. Once they get drafted.
Yeah.
Once you get a higher level of visibility, there's somebody going back. So basically, they would... Because you got to think about this thing with Lars is people going back to like a bodybuilder forum on Reddit and pulling up stuff that he said under an assumed name that they had to like do, like people had to do some real research to kind of put this together and be like, oh no, that's him. This is how we know, and then go from there. That's way.
But see, that to me, yeah, that's ridiculous. When you're doing stuff like that, it's like, okay. Because see, what I originally thought was that it was just a bunch of tweets. Now, the thing with Twitter and Facebook is it's not that, it'll take you a minute, but it's not that hard to, like, find, you know, that kind of stuff because it's Twitter and Facebook. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You know, you can get on there and then you can just kind of pop around and you can find it. But when you've gone as far as to get on Reddit and you found this guy's name that it was under, and you see these comments and stuff, you had to dig for that. Like, you really had to spend your time and effort and really dig for that. And it's kind of like, when you go into those extremes, it's like, why are you doing that? Like, in my mind, I don't excuse what he said, but I'm kind of like, do y'all not understand the lengths it took to get this information? Like, was it really necessary to dig that deep into it? And then I have to wonder, like, what even made this person put this information in the first place? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that has, it's a lot of questions that come along with this whole situation in general. But, you know, of course I'm not a fan of Lars Sullivan anyway. So, I mean, I'm not a fan of the comments or anything that he made and, you know, and the apologies that he's making. I don't really care. It's kind of like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a bigot. All right, cool. Like, no, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's kind of like, because this information was really drugged out, you know, for it to be aired out.
Right.
Like, it wasn't something light. This wasn't something light. You know, I could understand if you popped on MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter type situation, then it wouldn't take that much digging. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to really dig deep to get this information that was presented to everybody. So, I don't know. I'm not on his side about any of it, but it's like, I have to really play devil's advocate a little bit and wonder, like, who brought this shit out here and why did you do it, you know? What was the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, you know, people are advised, you know, watch what you put on your social media and all that kind of stuff, but this is a normal situation here. It's just not. So I really just, you know.
Yeah, here's the thing. He got off easy. He's lucky. But this is what I will say, too. Hopefully he learned from this. And I don't know what he's done and what kind of soul searching he's done since this has happened. But, you know, I'm not that invested in it. And
right.
I don't see it. I don't know. We'll see what they try to do as far as the push, but I ain't necessarily like, you know. I guess I'm not really concerned with it one way or the other. Undertaker versus Goldberg was announced for Saudi Arabia. You know why I like this match, Keish?
Why?
Neither one of them now will mess up any existing storylines. You see what I'm saying? This match can happen on its own without bothering anybody's titles. It can happen without a younger talent having to take a job. You see what I'm saying? To put the 50, near 60-year-old guys over. No. They go out, had a match. First time ever. Which, here's the funny thing. In Saudi Arabia, I really would like to see what's on paper for those deals.
Yeah, true.
Like, I would like to see the nuts and bolts. Because Taker didn't even do WrestleMania this year, but he's going to Saudi Arabia. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Goldberg has officially retired, but he's in Saudi Arabia. They paid for Shawn Michaels to break his retirement to work in Saudi Arabia. They must be breaking the bread to the point where, like, hey man, so I'm not speaking out of school if I say Saudi Arabia killed a journalist, and WWE was like, well, we're gonna yada yada past this shit. And we still going.
That's exactly what happens.
They killed.
That's exactly what happens, though.
A journalist that had ties to an American paper, and they like, we can't fuck up that money. We can't mess up that money at all. We are going to get that paper. Sorry for their loss. We are still going to get paid. So, no, I'm good. I understand. So, alright. We're going to speed through SmackDown so we can get to Money in the Bank. Right?
Right.
The Usos show up on SmackDown. They were helpful because they helped fend off when Shane McMahon was trying to do an ambush on Roman Reigns and The Miz again. With Elias and all his crew. I need to put this out there. I'm tired of Shane McMahon. I'm tired of him using it as an authority figure. I'm tired of him as a wrestler. I liked it better when he did like the one match a year. Oh wow, there's the nostalgia moment. Yo, this dude trying to be a full-time wrestler, and I'm not here for it. I'm like, shit. Y'all gonna take this ship down, sink it, ain't you?
Right.
Like, I'm not saying that the WWE, it's gonna take a while or a long time if they ever are gonna fall off. But hey, you keep doing stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Shane damn near 50 and trying to live out his childhood dreams. So
man, how old is Shane? Like his 40s? Like, come on, man. Just nah. You're doing too much now. You know, it has gone to the point where it's highly annoying. You know, it's very annoying at this point, and it's just kind of like, it's very, you know, it's annoying, and it's a disadvantage, because, you know, I just don't understand, like, I mean, why? You know, I don't get it. It's like, that's the reason, and this is really what you just did all that. I don't know, man. I guess, in my mind, you know, Shane feel like, you know, he's doing everything that he wanted to do, and that's cool and all. You know, go jump a bridge, and you know, take something off your bucket list. But at the end of the day, you know, don't drag other people into it. Not only that, just end it already.
He's taking up a roster spot.
End it already.
He's taking TV time away because he's using main storyline shit for this. He is okay. They told us they weren't going to have any more authority, right? The family wasn't going to insert themselves in the story that much anymore. They were going to fall back and let this thing roll. This is the complete opposite. He's reminding you he's a part of authority, this, that, and the third, yada, 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 and it's annoying. Nah. Keish, I just can't. I just have to say that. Andrade defeated Ali, Randy Orton, and Finn Balor in a fatal 4-way ahead of Money in the Bank. We talked about Andrade dropping all the extra name and just his Andrade. You know what's Mustafa Ali is just Ali now?
Man, what are you looking doing though?
Yeah.
That's a better question.
Yeah. So let's see. Shane, Elias, Bryan, and Rowan defeated the Usos and Roman Reigns, Usos showed up on SmackDown as a part of the wild card rule. Mind you, they're challenging for the SmackDown tag team titles, even though they are a Raw tag team. Okay. The Kabuki Warriors is the name for... That is the name for Kairi Sane and Asuka's tag team. Paige said they came up with the name. Now, Kabuki comes from Kabuki Theater, which is a thing that's big in Japan. People dress up and do little things when they act out or whatever. It's not an unused name in wrestling. In World Class, there was a guy named the Great Kabuki. I don't know how I feel about the Kabuki Warriors. I feel like it's sideways racist. I don't know if that's the right feel to have. I just think they could have maybe dug a little deeper. That's all. Just maybe they could have dug a little deeper. So, yeah, that happened. KO had the Kevin Owens show with Kofi Kingston, and Sami Zayn helped jump Kofi Kingston. So we have that. So yeah, that was it for SmackDown. You had any thoughts or anything you want to kind of... Well, Keish didn't have any thoughts about SmackDown, so I am going to...
No, SmackDown was just SmackDown, so there really ain't nothing to say. Like, that's and all to be on. That's it.
Yeah. All right.
Ain't much to give there.
Since we're done with SmackDown, let's talk about the pay-per-view. Money in the Bank.
Okay. You know what this is? Shout to Jesus. Put baby, I see you.
Got money in the bank. Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank. Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank. Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank. Shout out what you drink.
There's in WrestleMania along with the men. You know, like, come on, man. Like,
okay, here's the thing.
Like, right, though.
Yeah, once a year, right? If you have the match once a year, one match for the briefcase, and then from there to the next WrestleMania, how does that briefcase get cashed in? We don't know. Okay, great. Now we've moved that to the month after WrestleMania. What if somebody cashed in after winning it that night at WrestleMania? Right?
Right.
That's...
Exactly.
Man, look, if I won this thing at 7:30 tonight, who knows? She could go around at 10:30, and here I am. I could be the next Universal Champion. But we don't have that. Cool. I'll roll with it. But somebody could carry the briefcase. I think part of the idea of the briefcase to me, and part of the nostalgia of it, is the unpredictability of it. Right?
Right.
The only problem with that is that too many people who work at that company want to screw up. And what I mean by that, they can't keep something quiet. Part of it is being publicly traded, having shareholders meetings, and have to try to give people an idea of what your plans are. Part of it is that you have 1,800 writers, and not all the writers are invested in keeping the secret. Also, when you got so many different moving parts with writers, producers, and all this other stuff, everybody's not going to keep the secret. People just go, hey man, I'm just going to tell somebody because I need to tell somebody, and then bam. So you kind of is almost tipped off when the cash in is going to happen. Right? And I think part of the nostalgia with the early cash-ins were we had no clue. Like, it was just happening. So, the first cash-in happened. You didn't even know it could happen like that, right? John Cena just went through hell. and beat 6 dudes to keep the belt, and he can barely stand up. Edge come out with Mr. McMahon like, yo, money time. And you like, huh? Oh, snap, it's going down. The next cash-in wasn't nothing like that. Rob Van Dam's cash-in is he sets a match. He tells you when it's going down. I'm going to do it face to face.
Right.
He does it. He pulls it off with some help from Edge and all that. The ECW place was the perfect place to do it. I can roll with that. Anytime the champ was in trouble, you was wondering, like, is the briefcase in the building? Because this could go down. I think now we kind of know too much, and I think that hurts it all. But that being said, we're gonna go down the line. We're gonna talk about the whole pay-per-view, talk about the event, go match by match, and give you our thoughts. Tony Nese will be defending the Cruiserweight title against Little Daivari. I forget his first name, but it's the Little Daivari. It's Young Daivari. The same Daivari that I'm used to from TNA. It's Little Daivari. Well, not just from TNA.
Little Daivari.
The other Daivari worked in WWE. You know what I mean? But Little Daivari. Little Daivari, yeah. I'm going to say this. Tony Nese keeps the belt. No need for any major changes.
No, they're not going to take the belt away from Tony Nese. And you know, it's funny. 205 Live does do a great job at keeping a storyline going. I guess because this is on separate entity. So yeah, it definitely does a great job at, you know, especially when it changes it up and the title picture or whatnot. So they're not going to do nothing. Tony Nese has been waiting on this moment for a very long time, probably since he's joined 205 Live in WWE. So they're not going to take the belt away from him right now. He's going to retain the title. That's not going to change no time soon.
No, I don't think that you would make that move, right? Daniel Bryan and Rowan will defend their SmackDown Tag Team titles against the Usos. As talented as the Usos are, as talented as and as many times as they've been tag team champions, here's the thing. They're not going to win the SmackDown tag, even with wildcard rule, they're not going to win the SmackDown tag team titles being on Raw. And Bryan and Rowan just got the belts. And I think it's a way to keep Bryan kind of out front is if he has a belt on him and he doesn't have to be the world champ. I think this is the route they're going to go.
Right. I don't see... I love the Usos, but with them being a wild card, as we have seen as of late, I don't see them holding the titles again just yet. I just don't. I don't want to say that because it's kind of like I don't want to make it seem as if I'm against them or anything. It's just I know that this is not something that is going to happen right now. So I definitely can say that Daniel and Rowan will retain. They'll keep this going for as long as they need to. But I think it's going to be a good fight. I think that the match is awesome and it's going to be good. But other than that, you know, I don't see the Usos
I expect a good match. I expect the Usos to lose, but I do expect shenanigans. Then they will challenge for Raw.
Wow. You know, I forget we have Raw Tag Team Champions. You know, every here and there.
Yeah, well, because they out there taking losses.
I literally forget that we have Raw Tag Team Champions because, like, they disappear off into the background. They take L's, you know what I'm saying? They barely get airtime. It's like, why are they holding the belts if this is how you're going to treat them? Like, why are the tag team champions treated like straight trash? I don't understand it. I just don't understand who keeps making these decisions. Like, it's like, y'all got to do better than this. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was funny. Like, they won, but it was like, yo, we going to give them the belts. They going to have a moment. They didn't really, I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know.
I can't. I can't put my finger on it because, you know, they don't. It's like they don't keep them out, enough for me to really be like. But then again, you know, Zack Ryder, Cole Hawkins. So, I mean, what else can you really say other than you know, like, they're going to get this win? That's, to me, is just the way that I see it. Like, I know they're going to get this win. Like, there's no doubt about that. So, other than that, I don't know what else to really put out there for that.
Right.
So, Raw Tag Team titles, yay. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask about, Keith, and I'm pretty sure we get into this, but you know what? Let me not ask, because...
No, go ahead.
You know what? It's probably a question that has already been answered, and no, I'm going to ask. Why aren't the women's tag team titles being defended? Like, did we just not have enough room on the show? Like, what are we doing here? Like,
here's the thing. It could be a situation where they end up getting defended and it's just not listed on the show, just like the Raw Tag Team titles could end up just not on the show, not listed in what's going to happen, but then it shows up on the show because random matches show up on the card all the time. But yeah, okay, so they have set up, I don't know if they've established true contenders yet, right? So they got Fire and Desire, they've got Kabuki, and they're trying to work their thing out, but they haven't put together, which they have enough people to do a throwaway match to throw somebody in there, but they just didn't build anything. Now, I think Nia's injury hurts the idea. I don't think they're ready to rush Tamina into a team situation. They've used 8 people in Money in the Bank, so I think that matters. So I think they just didn't think, because even like Mandy Rose, she's in Money in the Bank, so you know what I mean.
I guess I just don't really understand, like, where are we going with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, in my mind, I really just don't. I don't know, man. I don't even know how to really explain it all what's going on in my brain with it. It's just frustrating, Keith. It's frustrating. So, but we'll figure it. I'll figure it out, I guess, and whatnot. So yeah. I need to get it together.
No, I think it's. I mean, I think it was worth a question though, like, because we do. I forget that those belts exist.
Yeah, like, it's just. I really honestly feel like, what was the point in creating them if this is what you were going to do with them? Because once they took them off of Sasha and Bayley, it's like, all right, so that's it. You know, I don't get the whole point of it now. It's kind of like, did y'all do this just so the women have another revolutionary moment? Because if that's the case, you could have did without it, you know? But I digress. Because it's something that kind of bothered me. I guess in my mind, you know, but this is exactly to me why the pay-per-views don't need to be co-branded, because all the titles should be defended at the pay-per-view. And that's just personal opinion.
Right.
But I mean, and even if you don't do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes they're just picking and choosing, and it's kind of like, all right, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we really doing here? So, you know, I had to ask, though. I had to put it out there, because I know once I didn't see anything about it on the card, I was like, so the women, the Iconics, are just going to be sitting around with the tag team titles and no defense? But I'm like, okay, you know, that's what we doing. That's what we doing. You like it, I love it. Let's go.
I mean, I think so. I think
that's about as far as I can.
They're going to run that show without putting them on and hope for the best, right? So that's going to happen. Samoa Joe defends the belt against Rey Mysterio. Your thoughts?
I really haven't been following this too much. I do think Samoa Joe will retain the title. I don't think that they're going to have him drop it to Rey Mysterio. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Rey. I like Rey. It's just I think that this is when he loses the title. I think there just needs to be more done with Samoa Joe, and utilized correctly, but you know, it's just my personal opinion.
No, he's one of the people where, like,
really think
the booking, I don't know if the booking is done right. You know what I mean? And I'll say this. They've done a lot of starting and stopping with Joe. Now, Joe has had some injuries, too. Like, I want to be fair. Joe has had some injuries that may have had them a little gun-shy about how they want to proceed with Joe. But I think this is a nice spot. I don't think this feud is over, right? Because you got Dominic and all that stuff. They try to use that. And also, I don't know if we addressed this in the last show. How old do you feel seeing Dominic as a grown-ass man? Like I just put that out there. Like, Dominic is a grown ass man. Remember the whole "I'm Your Papi" angle with Eddie Guerrero and all that? And
right,
it's like
right.
The little boy, that little boy,
he a whole
on the swing set is a whole grown ass man.
Yeah, he a whole adult out here. It's kind of like
he's so grown. After Ray match, he picked his daddy up and put him on his shoulders. I ain't that grown.
Ridiculous, right?
I ain't that grown where I'm let daddy ride on my shoulders. And I am significantly larger. Well, no, I'm not going to say significantly larger. I'm bigger than my dad. I put it like that. And so is Dominic. The thing is, Dominic being bigger than his dad ain't really an achievement. Ray kind of figured that out at 12, that this is going to happen.
Right.
Well, I take that back. I'm sure my dad, when I was about 12, figured out that, like, this is going to be gone in a few years. But, yeah. Just saying, I'm not out here putting my daddy on my shoulders. So, that's how grown Dominic is. Dominic is a full-grown man. Yeah, man, damn. Time flies, right? That's all I can tell you.
All right.
Shane McMahon versus The Miz, steel cage match.
Over it. That's over it. That's where I'm at right now.
So there's gonna be Shane is gonna do some ridiculous spot. Here's the thing. I don't know how far this is getting Miz over as a babyface.
Right. Exactly.
Right. And I'll say this. I don't know how much I like the idea of Miz as a babyface. I think his best thing is being a heel.
I don't know, man. I can understand the effort, but it's like, nah, it's not working. It ain't working at all. I feel like they're forcing it, and it's just.
I mean,
it's not something you can force.
No, we got this sad story. His daddy that got beat up. We done went all the way down the line with this, and I'm just like, I don't care about none of this.
Right. Exactly. I think that's a lot of people though. It's kind of like, all right, yeah, you done took this whole left with this, and this is ridiculous now. Like it's been ridiculous already, but this is just retarded. Like y'all have to do better. Get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like, all right, nah. That's pretty much where I'm at with it. It's like, okay, no, like no, just end this already. Like y'all doing too much.
Yeah, like the funny thing is, I don't think they're going to wrap this up anytime soon.
But see, this is one of those WrestleMania storylines that just got dragged on too long. You know what I'm saying? This should have ended at WrestleMania, and instead you just decided to drag this on even further and just drag it on too long. Like, what was the point in that?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand. I don't understand at all, but you know what? I guess it's not for me to understand, so I'm gonna stay over here and mind my business, and I'm gonna talk about wrestling because I don't know, man.
Yeah, here's my thing. I don't know what the end game is, and I got a feeling it's a build up of Shane McMahon. Like at the way they're going and the thing that they're trying to do. Do you realize we might get a Shane McMahon versus Roman Reigns match? Like, I think that's where this is headed. Yeah.
Why?
For who? For what? I don't know, Keish.
I'm not for it.
I think
I'm not for it, man. It's kind of like, what? Like, what are you...
And it might be just to pull off something in Saudi Arabia. But, yeah, man. I can see them doing a match. I can see Roman coming out of this thing with Elias. Because guess what? Why does Elias need to win? We don't need to build up Elias, even though he's young and part of the next generation. It would be helpful to build him up. I don't see them doing that. And Shane can beat the Miz because, I mean, no matter who comes out of it, you can always work with the Miz. Even though I think it's just a bad utilization of the guy. That's all. Right. That's the long and the short of it. But with this match inside of a steel cage, I'm crazy about. I was gonna pick the Miz before the show. I talked myself out of it. I'm picking Shane McMahon. Oh, that sucks. So with the next match, I'm going to pick Roman Reigns to beat Elias. That's where I am with that. All right. There's Money in the Bank. I'm going to give you the characters. You give me an idea of what you see. We got 8 guys going in here. 4 from Raw, 4 from SmackDown. Somebody's going to get the briefcase. And I might ask, is somebody going to cash in on Sunday night? But I got Randy Orton. I got Andrade. I have Ricochet. I have Finn Balor. I have Sami Zayn. I have Baron Corbin. I have Drew McIntyre. And I'm looking, is Ali supposed to be in this match or no? Yes, Ali is in the match. I feel like I got too many people. Okay. So, yeah, Ali is in the match. Keish, who is walking away with that briefcase?
People at this, I don't know. Let's see.
And you don't have to be dead on. You could give me a scenario where 1 or 2 guys, you ain't got to be dead on with that.
Well, I'll tell you this. I know that it won't be Ricochet because he's too new. So, I want to give it. I want to say it's going to be somewhere between Andrade and maybe Randy. That's how I can see that. You know. Outside of that, I don't see. They're my top 2 picks for winning the briefcase. Cashing it in that night, not gonna happen. I don't think that that the men's Money in the Bank is going to be cashed in that early. So I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. So I agree. I don't know if they're gonna cash anything in that night. This is how I'm gonna go down it. I'm gonna take Randy Orton off the board because I think he'll add some levity to the match, but I don't think he wins. I think we've been down that road before. Even though Randy Orton is the perfect kind of person to have Money in the Bank, and then he has that move that snaps out of anywhere. So Randy could be sneaky and hiding somewhere, and then bam, come out and hit an RKO, and then say I'm cashing in. He is perfect for Money in the Bank. Andrade. I don't know what they believe Andrade to be, right? Like there was a time in NXT and watched him, I would say, hey man, this guy could be the future of the game, right? And I'm not saying that he's not the future. So he, I think, is an interesting piece.
Yeah, he is.
Ricochet is there for purely entertainment. Ricochet is going to get the Shelton Benjamin Award given out generally to a black wrestler for being the most entertaining and hard-working person in a Money in the Bank match that has no hope of winning. I'm going to call it the Shelton Benjamin Award for that. Finn Balor already is the IC champ. I don't think they're going to do anything with that. Like, he's not going to carry the IC title. He might, but I don't think so. And I don't know if they trust him. Sami Zayn is interesting. Like, he just got plugged into this match. I can see Sami winning this Money in the Bank, and at some point KO being the champ, and then he cashes in on KO, and their feud comes back. The most intriguing choices are Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. I think those guys probably are going to cost each other this. And I had Ali. I don't think Ali is going to win, but I think Corbin and McIntyre are going to be heavily involved. McIntyre doesn't necessarily need. I think you can book him strong enough where he doesn't need it. It can go ahead, but I think him winning. I think he's a dangerous person to have it, and that Claymore click can pop off at any time. I think he would be. He would make it the most tense, and being a heel and all that. Like I think he's always a threat to cash in. So maybe I'm gonna go McIntyre. And then see there with Andrade being my second choice. All right, that goes to the women. I have Natalya, Naomi, Dana Brooke, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Ember Moon, Carmella, and Nikki Cross. Who you got?
I don't know how to gauge the women. It's a little different than the men.
Yeah,
I just
definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a little different than the men. I don't really know what to say except I see a Naomi maybe. It'd be interesting if it was like Nikki Cross or something like that. But if this is for I don't see. I guess I just don't see nobody else with the briefcase. It's a hard decision to make. It's really hard, and I wish I could be looking at it right now. just to see like who measures up. But I went through the opponents for this particular Money in the Bank match, and it's just kind of like, like I know for a fact it's definitely going to be out of 2, maybe 3 of the women, but I can see it being out of Naomi and Naomi. It's gonna be good, but I don't really see like Nikki. It's funny because I don't really see her winning, but then I don't see her in like a perfect school prayer role or nothing like that. So it's really weird.
Okay,
let me just not.
Here's my thoughts. So I can X off Natalya. I can X off Dana Brooke. Carmella's won before, and I think I could take her out of this. Even though this might be a chance to turn her heel again. I think Nikki Cross works as a wild card in the match, but I don't think she wins. Here's my case for my winners. Bayley. Bayley can win because Bayley is very decorated. Bayley, who doesn't need it, but this could be her shot. Like, bam, I've had some ups, I had some downs. This is my turnaround. I'm coming back for the belt, right? I like Ember Moon. I also see Ember Moon as somebody who can turn heel, and make it work, right? So, and maybe not even turn heel, right? Like Ember Moon is somebody who I think the sky's the limit for Ember Moon, right? And might be her launching pad. Now, this is my least favorable choice, but I think this is who they think is the choice, and it's Mandy Rose. Right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of her at all. Like, I'm not a fan of her at all.
No, okay.
Like,
this is why I'm not a fan.
She needs some major work.
Here's the thing. She could be better to ring, right? But the persona, I get it, but the reason why I don't like the persona, I don't necessarily think it's a reason to take her out. It's like this. Her whole gimmick is I'm pretty, right? Is that fair enough?
That's fair enough.
I'm pretty and blonde.
I've noticed. and I think everybody else has too.
But that's traditional WWE stuff. That is traditional how the company runs. Like, they love that. They can't wait to put a blonde. You want to go out to champs? I mean, you go back to Trish Stratus. You know what I mean? Alexa Bliss and all the push she's got. The Charlotte Flair pushes. Like, this is their thing.
Right.
So, I'm reluctant, but I think that's how it would go. Right? Now, I don't think anybody's cashing in that night.
No, not at all.
So, let me give you... Let's start with the title matches, the big title matches. Becky Lynch is doing double duty that night. She is defending the Raw Women's Championship against Lacey Evans. I think, the rocket ship they've put on Lacey Evans, and once again, blonde girl, they jumped her ahead of so many people. She wasn't even a champ on NXT. We're going to put her right in, trying to win the belt on Raw. With just being promoted. It's her first match on the brand, except for it gets like a jobber, and she's going for the title.
Here's my thing. When they brought her in, they brought her in way too early.
Right.
because you had her doing these random vignettes where she just comes out, walks around on the ramp and leaves, and it's like that lets me know that y'all brought her in from NXT way too early. Number two, y'all jumped from her just walking around parading to her getting a title match. Like, whoa, that was just way too much. That escalated way too quickly. Like, I don't see her. Because I'm gonna talk about this next one too, but I don't see her. I see Becky retaining that title. I do. I see Becky retaining the Raw Women's Championship, if anything, because I don't think they're ready to give a belt. You know what I'm saying? I really don't.
No.
Having a belt right now.
No.
Unless they're not going to give her a belt. It's too early for her to have a belt. She's going to have to fight with other females for a little while before she can have a title. You know what I'm saying? Especially because she never held one before. It's like, no, like you got some work to do, boo. Like, what are you doing?
I think this is a filler feud. I think they will have another match, but I think for this one, Becky will retain the Raw Women's title, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she has the same luck with the SmackDown title. I think Charlotte beats her for SmackDown. And this is why, right?
Yeah. I agree. But I'm going to let you go ahead with the thought.
They're going to leave Becky on Raw. Charlotte will cover SmackDown. Charlotte will be the face that rats SmackDown, especially going to the new deal with Fox and going to Fox. I think that will allow SmackDown to get back to having a women's division, because I don't think they really worked that well lately. Becky doesn't have to deal with the try to go back and forth, and I think they still think she's a hot commodity, but I don't think they think that she can carry both shows.
Right.
I think
I don't.
Also, this is for a longer arc, right?
Yeah.
So this is my idea. Both of them now take the belts, and this is why they never combined the titles. They never said that she was like the unified champ. She just had both belts. This is why. Charlotte will take the belt on SmackDown. Becky will take the belt on Raw. They will defend it against various competitors, right? They're both going to hold on to these belts till Survivor Series. What happens in Survivor Series? It's brand versus brand, right?
Right.
Becky will represent Raw. Charlotte will represent SmackDown with the women's titles to see who's the best champion. It's a rematch. Charlotte will tell you, "I beat you." Becky will say, "I beat you." Here we are.
Right.
They will wrestle, but the match will be interrupted. There will be shenanigans at Survivor Series. Ronda Rousey's going to come back. This is my idea, right? I actually bring in Ronda and Shayna Baszler. Shayna and Ronda both come in, do the run-in, beat up Becky and Charlotte. Becky and Charlotte say they're going to put their differences aside and they will wrestle Ronda and Shayna at Royal Rumble, right? At Royal Rumble, the other two girls come in. That's Ronda and Shayna's friends. I forget their names all the time.
Jessamine Duke and Marina Schaefer.
They come in and ruin that match. And what happens is Becky and Charlotte got to go get Bayley and Sasha, because I think Sasha Banks will be back by then. And bam, we're set up at WrestleMania for who's the true 4 horsewomen versus the 4 horsewomen. That is how I would lay this out going forward to next year. Will it work out that way? I don't know. But that's just my thoughts.
There's going to be a hole left somewhere in there. You know how WWE is. Like, that sounds like the perfect plan. But they're gonna take a whole left turn somewhere, and
Yeah.
then they're gonna have to bust a Yui, hit a right. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Like,
and I mean, that's the assumption that nobody gets injured between now and then.
right.
Right.
But I will say this. I do agree. Charlotte is going to take the SmackDown Women's Championship off of Becky, so Becky will exclusively be on Raw. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see Lacey taking off the Raw Women's Championship from her. So, Becky's going to have that belt. Charlotte's going to hold the SmackDown Women's title, and then that's just going to be how they're going to separate the two. Because I just don't see, I personally don't see Becky without a belt right now, but she's not going to hold both of them. But then that gives the women on SmackDown a chance to, be able to fight for the title once again, really revamping that division on SmackDown. So I definitely agree with you. And that really does sound like how they're going to set this up for WrestleMania next year, because we know that the four horsewomen versus the four horsewomen is coming at some point, and that, of course, is the perfect time for it to happen. So it's definitely going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle to get there, but of course that doesn't mean that it won't happen.
No, I think there's a thing. Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens, WWE title.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I mean it. Every word that I say when I say it. And I'm gonna try not to get on my soapbox because I can just. I want Kofi to retain the title. That is what I want. That is what I'm going to predict happening. I can see them screwing him over and giving Kevin the belt. I can really see it, and I would hate for it to happen, but that's not what I want. Like, in my mind, Kofi retains the title, holds the belt a little longer, and, we keep this moving for like another month or so. I can see the other outcome, but that's not what I'm going to predict is going to happen. So, because since Kevin has returned, it's been a little favorish, and personally, I feel like this is Kofi's first title run as WWE champion, and I think they should give it a little bit of length. You know what I'm saying? Like, give it like at least another month or two. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. But, there's always the other possibility. And I can see that. And I can see there being a strong chance that it's more than a possibility. So, that's my whole take on this match in general. But just to keep it short and sweet, I got my boy Kofi retaining, holding the belt down for the New Day. You know what I'm saying? And all those black people out here, that's just how I feel. And all the be all, baby. That's it. So,
yeah, no,
ain't nothing else to me to say to me.
No, reality, Kofi keeps the belt, right? I think this is a good match for him, and I think it's a nice spot because I think KO has some star power. I think he looks like a legitimate threat, but I think Kofi finds a way to win, and I think he got to bring the belt to Ghana because Kofi won't travel back to the homeland of Ghana. You know what I mean? And as a fellow Ghanaian, well, I'm not a Ghanaian. I'm just I'm like 28% of Ghanaian descent, apparently, according to Ancestry. So I'm claiming Ghana. It's nice that he gonna go back home with the belt,
right?
And I'm sure he's gonna go to Saudi Arabia with the belt. Like, I think they're gonna, as hot as he's been, I think him and being an ethnic person with the belt in Saudi Arabia, I think that works, and I think they're going to keep the belt.
Right.
So, yeah, I think Kofi wins, and I think it's just too early. Like, I think Kofi probably, when he drops the belt, it'll be somewhere around like SummerSlam.
Right.
And I
agree.
I mean, that's what I would think. So the final, Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles, which promised to be probably one of the better matches of the evening.
There it is. If not the match of the evening.
Yeah. Both of those dudes are too good to not have this match. And it's the first time
I agree
that they face each other. Now, I'm thinking it's what it's like. Is this the first time in WWE? Or is this a first time ever? Oh, you know what?
You know what? That's something to look into. That's definitely something to look into.
It's not the first time ever. I got Tyler Black versus AJ Styles in 2006. Tyler Black, Seth Rollins, for some of y'all who don't know. So 2006, I don't know if that's Ring of Honor. Actually, this is like an indie show.
Right.
There's also a match that has Kenny Omega with Daniel Bryan, a.k.a. Bryan Danielson, with Tyler Black for Ring of Honor. Wow, that's a thing.
Right.
Samoa Joe versus Tyler Black, a.k.a. Seth Rollins for Ring of Honor. Bryan Danielson versus Tyler Black in Ring of Honor. AJ Styles versus CM Punk full match. Like, I mean, there's so much stuff you could go through. But, yeah. So, yeah, AJ Styles faced Tyler Black is a 23-minute match on the Indies. That happened in 2006. So it's not the first time ever. It's just the first time ever on a stage this big. Because it didn't even happen in Ring of Honor or TNA or anything like that. Like, this is probably the biggest stage that they've done this. So,
I guess, for me, I don't know. I guess with Seth being who he is right now, like, I don't see them necessarily taking the Universal title from him, especially because it's been gone for so long, you know, so to speak. I think he's the person that would be the best poster child to have the belt right now. AJ Styles is awesome. I think he's great. I don't see them putting the belt on the Universal title on him just yet. So that's pretty much my stance on that whole match in general. I really don't have much else to say about it. It's like, you know, I feel like this is what it's going to be until around SummerSlam. Right. We're not that far from SummerSlam. So we only go a couple of months out, you know, so it's not like, you know, we're like 10 months. We're not that far from SummerSlam. So I feel they might not keep all the champions the same until then, but there's only going to be a select few that's going to keep their titles because they're not going to want to change that before that moment, especially because the Saudi Arabia event is in between time too. So, you know, they're not going to want to change that at all up until then. So I agree with you, Keith. I definitely agree with you on those points. Like, it's definitely not going to be too many title changes. It's definitely going to, you know, so the pay-per-views are really just going to be kind of some filler stuff until we get to SummerSlam. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a good pay-per-view in general. Like, I think Money in the Bank is not going to really disappoint. It's not going to really disappoint. You know, I think it's going to do good. Of course, there's going to always be surprises and shenanigans, so I'll be looking for them. But I think they set it up pretty well.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's going to be AJ is not going to win, unfortunately. I think it's going to be it's going to stay. We're going to keep the belt with Seth Rollins, and that's just what it is.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah. So with that is our Money in the Bank preview. I'd like to thank everybody who listened and hung around for us. This is a long show. We didn't do a WrestleMania preview this long, but it's good audio content. I hope you guys listen and share and get it around. We will have a recap show next week. Keish, any thoughts or things you want to share?
I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Go eat some chocolate, have some nachos, you know what I'm saying? Drink some juice and have a good time. That's my advice for the week.
All right. And with that, we are out. Peace.
Bye.